So, hey guys, today I have Priyesh with me here, and we will start with the introduction of Priyesh. Priyesh, can you go ahead and just introduce yourself?
Yeah. Hi, Aman. Myself, Priyesh Raj. I belongs to Chhapra, Bihar, a small city in Bihar, and I completed my basic schooling from here itself. Then,
Okay,
during my school days, having some good mathematical skills. So I opted for maths honors and completed my graduation from Ramlal Anand College, University of Delhi. Then currently I am pursuing Master of Operational Research from Hansraj College. And apart from my academics, my other achievements are I have also qualified IIT exam mathematical statistics. Then I have also cleared one actuarial paper, actuarial statistics. Apart from my academics, uh, about my technical knowledge, I know Python and SQL also. Uh, as for my experience, as far as my experience is concerned, uh, mm, I am a fresher, but I have done some projects which involves the use of exploratory data analysis and machine. There are some machine learning algorithm that I am familiar with. It is linear regression, KNN, K-means, and I am also familiar with logistic regression. And currently, I am studying decision tree. Like I am not some professional, but yeah, I am familiar with this topic. And about my family background, we are a family of four, which includes my father, mother, my elder brother, and me. And about my hobby, I like to play cricket, and sometimes I like to read books also. So yeah, that's all about.
great. Can you do one thing? Can you just lower your screen a little bit? We can just see your face and just little bit
Yeah,
lowering.
is
Yeah,
it fine? Is it fine? Yeah,
better, much better. So, you are saying you are currently studying, right?
yeah,
So, you are learning data science from your own interest.
yeah.
Okay. And you are aware of linear regression and decision trees and some of these algorithms and Python. So how much would
Like
you?
I have just not completed the recent yet. Like I am on that topic, but yeah, I can answer some basic questions from that.
That's fine. Yeah. So can you tell me end to end what is linear regression and how it works?
Yeah. So linear regression is a statistical technique that attempts to model the relations between two or more variables using a linear equation, using some past data or some data. So we basically try to model the relationship between variables, and it is the mathematical equation is like y equals beta naught plus beta 1 x1 plus beta 2 x2 and so on. And where beta naught is the uh, what do you say intercept parameter, and the other beta are the slope parameter. And there are some assumptions for this model. The very first assumption is that there should be linearity in model. Like if I'm saying that y equals beta naught plus beta 1 x1, so the power of beta should be 1. So this is the very first assumption. Then the second one is there should not be any multicollinearity, and then again there should not be any autocorrelation also. And about yeah, there should not be any homoscedasticity, which says that the variance of the error term should be constant. And again there is one more assumption that the error uh, normal distribution with mean zero and variance constant. Then there is one more assumption about outliers, that there should not be any outliers present in my model.
So why do you think that errors should have a normal distribution?
Errors should have a normal distribution.
What is the justification of that assumption?
Uh, about the error, Sorry, I'm not able to recall
That's
it
fine.
right now.
So what will happen if we train a linear regression model on the data having multi-collinearity? What will happen?
Like the key goal of our model is to that we are trying to see that how mean value of y is changing while one value like let's say we are changing the value of x1 by 1 unit, then how the mean value of y is changing, keeping all other variables constant. But if there is some other variable that are related with the that x1, so it will not be possible for us to keep those variable constant, and so we won't be able to calculate the increase in y while we increase the value of x, and ultimately we won't be able to estimate the parameters correctly.
Okay. Okay. And what kind of problems can be solved using linear regression? Business problems.
Business problem, like if consider I have a and I want to predict some, like I am manufacturer of car and I want to predict my price of a car based on its feature, like its model year and and the engine volume and something like and all the other features of car. Then and if it, and if like if the assumptions of linear regression are satisfying my data, then we can use linear regression model for to predict the price of our cars.
But if you are the manufacturer, you already know the price, right?
Uh, Not with the current. I'm talking about the future price.
Okay. So you will be estimating the future price. For example, what will be the price in October for some Hyundai car, for example, Hyundai i20, given the different features of i20.
Like may, I think I have just did a mistake. Like I'm not saying about the future, but I can predict the cars price, which are given the features. I can predict the like let's say we have a 10 cars. Okay, we have a 10 cars, and we have made another 5 cars. We know the price of those 10 cars. So based on the features of those 10 cars, I can predict the price of the other 5 cars.
Okay. And what is this process known as?
This process is uh,
Model training, prediction.
yeah, we will what can you please repeat?
I'm saying this entire
What
process
do
is,
you say? Can you repeat?
I'm saying this entire process is known as what? Model training is which part and model prediction is which part?
Model training, when we are doing uh, uh, when we are fitting our model on those 10 data set, uh, uh, this will be my training part, and then and when I am trying to predict those my price of my 5 cars, that will be predicting.
So how do you make a kid understand what is model fitting? Model fitting is little technical term here. So
Yeah,
how do you make a layman understand what is meant by model fitting?
it's quite easy. Children, a child is born to a new world. It's look let's say he looks at a dog very first time. Okay, and he he memorizes his figure, that what it looks like, so that the next time he will see him, he will immediately recognize that it is a dog. So just like that, our model works like that. Like our model will see our data first, and then it will try to it will try to memorize something. It will try to memorize the logic, that how our data is working. So yeah,
So you have used the word memorize here 2 times. Memorize means nothing but remembering the things, right? So for example, if I memorize something, then if I go to a new place, then I know this is the road, this road goes to this place. If I am known to some city, right, I know in my memory that is fed that this is the road which goes to this place, this is the road which goes to this place. This is called memorization, or this is called memory. Okay. But when we talk of advanced systems like machine learning, deep learning, robotics, these kind of systems, right? So you will see that these kind of systems tend to take new decisions as well. For example, machines which are trained, right? So if you change the path, or if you keep some obstacles, a robot which is very well trained will just find an alternate path. Okay. And many more examples are there like that. For example, if you take face recognition, right? So face recognition is not memorization of one's face. It is something else. So do you know the difference between what is memorization and what is pattern recognition?
Like memorization is something that if our model tries to memorize something, that then our model will eventually overfit. That it can't perform, it can't give high accuracy on test data. It can give high accuracy on training data because it has memorized that data. But the pattern recognition logic behind if the model tries to capture the logic behind the data, that how the values are coming. It tries to like in linear regression uh, we gave a parameter like y equals mx plus c type equation. So it will using that equation, it will try to find the logic that how the value of y's are coming using the value of x.
Are you aware of the difference between rule-based system and machine learning?
Sorry.
You're not aware. Okay. And have you done programming sometime in your career? Coding, programming.
Recently, I have started with Python, basic Python. I know.
Before that, you have not done coding. Okay. So how good you are with maths skills and stat skills out of 10, 10 being maximum?
Out of 10, I will rate it in statistics myself 7.5.
Okay. So can you tell me in what kind of situation mean is a better representation of population, and when median is a better representation of population?
Yeah. Hello.
Yeah, you can go ahead.
Yeah. Yeah. So suppose me with my 5 friends go to a cafe, and someone came and want to know that what are the average salary, like what are the average salary that all 5 of us earn. Okay. So if we are all on a similar position in some company, like we all are in analyst, then we can just go ahead with me. But if there is like 4 of us are analyst and one of us are the CEO of some company, then that will uh, then the CEO is actually the outlier because his salary will be very much greater than all other posts. So in this case, we can use median.
Are you aware of the difference between percentile and quantile?
Yeah.
Can you tell me that?
Percentile is like if you are saying 90 percentile, which means that 90% of the data are behind that point and 10% of the data are, so this is the percentile. About quantile.
Do you know what is quartile?
Yeah, quartile divides our
first quartile, second quartile, like that.
Yeah, it divides our data into like there are 3 quartiles, divides our 3 points, which divides our data into 4 equal parts. First quartile means 25% of data will be behind that point, and the rest 75% will be after that point. And the second quartile is nothing but median, 50-50. and then the third quartile is similarly 75 and 25.
So if I have 100 numbers in my hand, any 100 numbers you can think of.
Yeah.
So what I will do is I will take 25 numbers, call that kind of below first quartile, like that. So I will change my question. I give you 100 numbers. How do you compute third quartile? Tell me.
I will just sort them on the basis of values first, on the basis increasing order, and then like if we are 100 number, then separate the 75 on left side and the and keep 1 point, and then rest on the right side. So that will be my Q3.
Okay. And are you aware of variance and standard deviation?
Yeah.
What is the relation between these two?
Standard deviation is actually the square root of variance.
Okay. So standard deviation is derived from variance, right? So internally, if you see the meaning will be same. For example, if I take standard deviation of maybe 20, then variance will be 400. If I take 100, then it will be 10, like that. So internally the meaning is same. Then why statisticians have defined two different terms? Any idea on this?
Just give me 1 second. I'm thinking.
Yeah, take your time.
So variance is that like I've studied that variance allows us to calculate the spread of the data. Like we can know how our data is spread from the central district mean or median. So standard deviation is the actually square root. Sorry, I'm not able to figure out that.
Square root of variance only, but different use of standard deviation. Do you know the difference between covariance and correlation?
Yeah.
Why we need two different terms there?
There is a basic difference. Like covariance only tells us about the direction that how two variables are going, but strength and correlation is something that has no dimension. It's dimensionless because we calculate it's by covariance divided by the variance of x. Standard deviation of x into a standard deviation of y.
So, what is the advantage of having a feature which is dimensionless? What is the advantage of that?
Advantage. Just 1 second. I had the example in my mind. It's a slip.
That's fine, not a problem. Are you aware of probability concepts?
Yeah.
Do you know what is the difference between addition rule of probability and multiplication rule of probability?
Yeah. Addition rule is like when we have a like probability of A union B, we want to calculate, then we just add those probability, and in multiplication rule we find the intersection of two events and we multiply those two probabilities.
Any real time example, real world example?
Yeah. Let me think. Yeah. So consider we have a bag, and inside that bag we have two kinds of ball, a red and blue. We have a total 100 numbers of balls inside that, 50 black and 50 blue, and we want to know the probability that if I draw five balls from that bag, then what are the probability that three will be white and three will be white and two will be three will be red and two will be blue. So in this case, I will have to use the multiplication rule. Like what I will do is I will first calculate the number of ways in which we can draw those five numbers, which so it will come out to be my sample NS sample space. So and the number of red ball in all those five ball is 50C3. Like we want to calculate number of three red balls, probability of number of three balls. So 50C3 will be the number of ways, and then we multiply it with the probability of uh, like 50C2, those two blue balls. So we multiply these two probability and we will get eventually the answer.
Okay. And do you know what is Bayes theorem in probability?
Yeah, Bayes theorem allows us to calculate conditional probability. Like if we have event A and given some condition on that A is happening of B, so it allows us to calculate that. And its formula is like P A given B equals P A into P B given A by P of B.
And what are the assumptions of Bayes theorem?
Bayes theorem assumptions that the events should be independent and mutually exclusive. Like if we are saying that if we have a event A and if we have a event E1, E2, E3, then E1, E2, the intersection of E1, E2, and E3 should make A.
Okay.
And all those E1, E2, E3, there should not be anything common between them.
Okay. And how much do you rate yourself in Python out of 10 as of now?
7.
So tell me a few basic data types of Python that you are aware of.
The first one is the string type. Then under numerical data type, we have integer and float and then complex. Then under sequence data type, we have list tuple sets. Then under mapping, we have dictionary, and then we have a Boolean data type also.
So suppose there is a small use case, small problem. For example, your name is Priyesh Raj. My name is Aman Kumar. There can be a third guy whose name is, let's say, Ankit Kumar. There can be a fourth guy whose name can have three. What do you say? 3 parts. So our name is having 2 parts only. Somebody's name, Priyesh Raj Singh, something like that. My requirement is I want the last word of the name. So for my name, Kumar should be output. For your name, Raj should be output. For the guy who is having Priyesh Raj Singh, then Singh should be the output. What will be your approach for this problem?
My approach is that I will just, let's say my name is Priyesh Raj Singh. Okay, so I will just split my name where from like Priyesh there is a space between Priyesh and Raj. So I will try to split that from there. Like I will use the command like I will store that inside a variable A equals my name dot split command, which will actually stores my name inside a list, and the first element of the list will be Priyesh, then and then the second element will be Raj, and then the third element will be what you say Singh. So and we want the last element of the list, right? So I will just use the index sizing, like A of -1 will give me the last name.
Okay. And have you used pandas in Python?
Yeah.
So suppose there is a salary column in one data set. I want to see the 64th percentile of salary. How do I see that?
There is a command dot quantile. So use like dot quantile, and inside we can pass 65.
And it dot quantile. What before dot?
The data set. Like
No.
if we have if we have if can like if we have a data of 10 data points and we want to calculate the quartile, then what we can do is we can make a series of those data and store that series inside a variable s, and then s dot quantile.
You can create a series of that data and then s dot
Quantile, s dot quantile 65
no.
inside that.
Will it work? I don't do like that anyway.
I
And
have done.
okay, great. Have you also used SQL before?
Yeah,
SQ,
I'm familiar with the basics. Yeah.
you are aware of SQL concepts? Do you know how SQL join works? What is the purpose of joining? With explain me the purpose of joining with a real world example.
Okay, so let's assume I run a company where I have a database of customers, and then I have another database of like another. I have one table of customer data, and I have another table of my product data, that the products I sell. Okay? And inside my product table, there is one column which is product ID, and then the second column is product name. And inside that customer table, we have a customer ID, we have we have a customer name, and we have a product ID only. And if we want to see that which customer bought which product, so we can use SQL join here, which will actually join those two tables on the basis of a product ID, if the product name.
And what are the different varieties of join that we can do?
Uh, what
What are
different
the
types of join?
yeah?
Yeah, there is inner join, the outer join, and the cross sectional join.
Anything else?
Uh, in I have studied only three: inner, outer, and the self join.
Okay, because left outer and right outer you have not studied.
Yeah, so yeah, I have studied that, but that comes under I have studied under outer join only, like types of outer join, left outer and right outer, and there is one full.
Full outer. Yeah. So have you done any use cases and kind of deployed it somewhere in data science or analytics, machine learning use case? You have not done?
No, I have done some basics project on regression analysis or data analysis.
Okay, you are saying you are just practicing in your machine. You have not
Yeah.
deployed it somewhere. Okay, so do you know what is deployment?
I'm not sure, but deployment is like after training my model, uh, we usually. Uh, I'm sorry, I'm not able to answer this question.
Okay, so one hypothetical question here. Suppose I am a newspaper distributing agency. Okay, I'm a newspaper distributing agency. So my job is to get any newspaper, for example, Times of India, and I distribute in entire Bangalore, for example. But due to this pandemic, people have stopped the newspaper subscription. Many people are not taking newspaper. Okay. So being a data scientist, what would be your analysis? What would be your recommendation? What would be your suggestion? What kind of data you will collect and what kind of approach you will take so that sales pick up again?
Uh, I will I will need the data of about years that you delivered, and the data before pandemic. The data, what are the data like? What are the number of sales before pandemic, and what are the data sales after pandemic? and then I will try to visualize that what are your like what are your territory, like what are the areas that bought maximum number of newspapers, and is there any decline in those area, or if or is there any decline in your territory area, or like there may be like there may be the case that your uh, that that the place people purchase have stopped buying or not. So I will try to visualize that first. Then if I find that if there is a like if uh, I try to find like why they have stopped purchasing, either it is because of the pandemic or some other reason. So if it is because of pandemic, then my suggestion would be that will like what we can do is we can offer them the, what do you say, no delivery, like uh, we can just deliver their doors and something like that. And also situation is eventually going to normal, so that will work out. And
What else? How we can improve the sales?
we can improve the sales. Uh, if we can do some advertisements uh, in the area, like we can also give some offer, like taking papers, if you are taking paper for 6 months, then you may get some gifts or something like that. So this might attract the customers.
Okay. Anything on no contact delivery, no touch delivery, or something on the mode of delivery?
Uh, yeah, or what else we can do is we can also form a like online kind of booking, uh, where where they can select what mode of delivery they want, like cash on deliveries, or they want to pay first, or the option. If we are giving an option of cash on delivery, then there will be a such option. So mode of delivery, if the mode of payment is online, then it will be better.
Okay. So what is the area that interests you more? Now you are doing coding also. So you are from maths background like that, and data science kind of you are having some idea now. So what is the area, or where do you see yourself after a couple of years or 5 years?
After my area of interest is exploring data. Like I really like to explore data. So I've done various projects in exploratory data analysis itself. And after 5 years, I see myself as uh, I see my position in some reputed organization, and grown with some to have grown with a company, and uh, and uh, uh, and also I would like to have a good work-life balance.
Okay. So where are you currently located?
I am in Bihar, Chhapra, Bihar.
In your hometown only you are?
Yeah.
Okay, fine. So I will just take a pause here, Priyesh, and I will give you some feedbacks maybe. Is that fine? And then you can ask me something if you want to.
Yeah, okay.
So first thing is right from your introduction, and your introduction is good. One thing is not many people will be interested in knowing about your family. Okay. So if you don't cover that part, that is also fine. I'm not saying it's bad, but if you don't cover, that is also fine. Second thing is your mathematics and statistics understanding is good. Machine learning understanding you need to improve, because if your stats is good, it will be easy for you to get a deeper understanding of machine learning. So I will tell you, go through that ISLR book. Do you have that book with you, ISLR? Introduction to Statistical Learning by Trevor. That book,
I've heard in name, but I don't have with me.
So that book you must study if you are looking for a career in data science. That's a very easy to read book, and it will give you a lot of perspective about what is data science and how it relates to statistics. Okay, so your stats and maths is good, and in some time only you have learned some bit of Python also. That is very good actually, and your explanation of the things is also okay. One more thing that I would like you to improve is just show little energy in the interview. Okay, so sometimes you are saying right answers, everything is fine, but what interviewer might feel is you are not that. See, people are there to judge you, right? I'm not judging you, but there are people who are there to from that half an hour, 40 minutes only, they want to know about your personality. Okay, so if they get a feel that you have kind of little lazy personality, then they might think that not so energetic. Okay, so I'm not saying that's a bad thing, but sometimes people might take that as negative. Okay, so just be little enthusiastic, talk with voice little louder, and you are getting right what I'm saying. Hello.
Yeah. Hello. Yeah.
So that is,
Hello.
yeah, I can hear you now. It was paused in between. So that is one thing. Rest of the things are very good. You have wore a formal shirt. You have kept a good background. Voice is also coming okay. So these things are very well. Some areas where I could see the improvement, I just gave you the feedback. Okay. Anything you want to ask me, Priyesh?
I was looking to prepare for a case study. So, where can I find some good materials for that?
Prepare for
Case studies, like there are rounds in case studies involved in the recruitment round. So I
yeah.
want to prepare for that.
Nothing. You can go to Google and search machine learning case studies, data science case studies. You will get many case studies. Also, some guys like some data science platforms, for example. I cannot take any name here, but you will find the case studies. They will just put it on open internet. Another place is all the things are in Kaggle. You know Kaggle, right? You are aware of Kaggle, right?
Yeah, we can find data sets there.
Not data sets. You will find the data science competitions. So every
Yeah,
competition is a case study itself. Okay, you will find many case studies.
Okay.
And you can definitely participate in hackathons and HackerRank. These kind of places you will find many. I have recently created a video where I showed to people where all I will go and find for a data science competition. So those things will give you a fairly good perspective of what is different case studies in data science.
Okay.
So that is a very good thing to do. Very good question you have asked. You should do case studies. Then you will get a broader perspective of what is happening, why I'm doing something right. For example, if I'm seeing the percentile, why I'm seeing the percentile, you'll get a very broader perspective of things.
Yeah.
Anything else from your side, Priyesh?
No, I don't have any question right now.
Okay, so we will close it here. Stay in touch, and good luck to you. Keep studying, keep watching videos of Unfold Data Science.
I already do. I have watched many concepts from your channel. It's very good, very nice.
Thanks, Priyesh. Stay safe. Take care.
Yeah, you too, man.
Okay, good night.
Yeah, bye. Good night.